Hey guys, welcome back to Garage Dads. Got a one of Morristown's finest here, a top-selling author, the first person of fame to be on Garage Dads, Blake Kibler. Blake,
What's up,
how are you,
man?
brother?
Living the dream, baby.
We've had a lot of scheduled dates and canceled dates,
Yeah.
and we both got hectic schedules,
Yeah.
and so I'm glad we were able to get it lined
Yeah.
up, and I was nervous gonna have you on in the beginning, and I was like, I gotta be on point.
Yeah,
So now,
basketball, just with anything, but basketball is pretty much 365 days a year.
Yeah.
And as deep as my son and I are into it, it's
Yeah.
got to be that way.
it's that's the Garage Dad motto.
Yeah.
It's for the kids.
That's all for the kids.
It's for the kids. It's for them kids. So
For sure.
the way we like to start things off is we just like to ask about your family dynamic and just
I got 3 boys. Weston's the oldest, and Grayson's my middle child, and then I have Paxton. He's the youngest. God bless my wife. There's a lot of poop jokes and a lot of farting and a lot of that's what she said type stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a good time. I'm pretty blessed. Again, to have a very patient wife. And honestly, here lately, she's just, I know, if you can't beat them, join them type of mentality. Yeah. It's pretty awesome right now, especially in the summer. We're both off. We get to spend a lot of time with them. So, yeah.
yeah. And what's your wife's name?
Lauren.
I was like, I think that's it, but I'm gonna ask.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
It's for the people. It's for the people out there.
No,
so
it's Lauren. She's soon to be an art teacher at Bright Elementary. So, yeah, they're gonna move her over there. She's pretty tickled to death to get that. She's been wanting that for a while. High school kids are high school kids. But, she felt like she reached the elementary population.
Yeah,
a little bit easier.
At some point, I think a change of pace from just high school kids that. In elementary, those kids still love art. In high school, they're probably they either love it or they're in there just to get their fine arts credit.
For sure. And she's such a creative mind that I'm a kid. I can barely draw a stick figure. She's got advanced drawing or something, and she's trying to get these kids to do elaborate things, and you can only do so much.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely one of those stick figure kids.
Yeah, I wanted to be the elaborate, sophisticated drawer, but it's just not in the cards. I'm a lot of things, but a drawer is not one of them.
I had to we took it in middle school. There was no option, and I did not fare well. I think that's the only class I failed in school ever, and which is kind of embarrassing.
It's all right.
So that's when I got to high school, and I was like, well, my mom always told me I was pretty dramatic, so I was like, my fine arts credit it's going to be drama, so I definitely can relate to that.
That's all right.
And so I wish that I had a little bit more of a creative mind like that. I tried, but it didn't work out well.
I'm kind of, especially in high school, I was envious of those kids that had that creative mind and they can just sit down and draw whatever. And I'm just sitting here like sweating and breaking pencil lead and stuff, trying to draw, this little sun or sunset.
Like, hey, check this out. It took me 3 hours. They're like, I did that in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And how old are your boys? I know.
Weston's 14. He'll be a freshman. Grayson's 11. He'll be in 6th grade, headed to the middle school. So we'll have 2 over in the other building. And then Paxton, he's 8. He'll be a big 3rd grader.
Well, I know, just, with us being at different schools, I don't see them. As much as I did when I was, subbing and student teaching. 1 and 3 they're 100% like BK. They're clones of you.
Yeah, my oldest one is a little. He's about 50-50. The youngest one's me, 100%. He's got the big head. He's got the wit, I guess, or he don't take much serious. But the oldest one, he's a little drawn back. He'll really think about stuff. And they both love basketball. So and they're into superheroes and all that stuff. So that's fun.
That's not an option with you.
Nah. And then the middle one's he's the kid I'm envious of. He can sit down and just draw these elaborate things.
Yeah.
And he's into the drama, he's into the arts.
Yeah.
He won't tell you, but he is a very good little singer. He'll sing in the bathtub or in the shower. He's got a nice little voice, but he's just different than the other 2.
Yeah, definitely more the creative. Him and Mom are probably right there with the creativity and
they're pretty good buds.
And he have some health issues starting out?
When he was born, had him home for about 2 days. Dr. Manzer, God love him, called and said, his creatinine level, which I didn't know what the heck a creatinine level was. It's a indicator of how well your kidneys are functioning, is sky high. Like, he needs to go to Children's right now. And I'll never forget, we were so lax. Headed to Children's, we just thought it was going to be a checkup, no big deal. We were in Children's for a month with him.
Wow.
He had, he still has, he has a chronic kidney disease where he pees wasn't going out all the way. It was going out, that's why they didn't catch it at first, but it would backflow and it was swelling up his kidneys. So that boy, there's nothing worse than seeing your kid, especially at that age, in agony, even just putting the IV in, veins that wouldn't take the needle or something like that. So they had to take the needle, put it around in their head and stuff, and like just to watch that and hear him cry still, like it brings chills to you, because that was a very hard time for us, and it took us a while to recover. He's kind of, he is the typical middle child, I will say. He is the typical middle child. We always says he has oppositional defiant disorder. He if you say black, he'll say white, all that good stuff. But we are kind of lax with him because he's just had a lot. He don't even know. He has no idea.
No clue.
And he has a couple little scars on his lower back where they had to go through his back and literally go directly to the kidney to drain them, to get the swelling down. It's kind of crazy what they can do. Children's was amazing, but he's probably lucky to be alive, to be honest.
And that's one of those wild things about, like, I know with our first podcast with my buddy Brett, and just like, kids aren't supposed to have that. Like, they're not supposed to go through that.
No.
Kids shouldn't start out, their lives like that.
For sure.
But
for sure,
to have a little kid go through something like that, and it's gotta be difficult. It had to be difficult then, and now it's like, well, buddy, you had a tough start, and just hearing, also, when we had Rick on last time, and he was talking about his grandson, and just like, from the start, everything was normal, like the IVs and stuff, like he didn't cry. It was normal to him, and I'm just like, how like rough is that? Like, me, like, I'm not afraid of needles, but I'm not like, hey, give me a shot. So
for sure,
and not even affecting you. Just he was talking about him. I don't think that part was in the podcast, but he would talk about him just putting his arm out and being fine. And it's like, when that happens to me, I'm like nervous and
for sure, you're all tensed up.
I'm like, it's not about the pain, but it's
and the bad thing was with that whole ordeal was, my wife just had a C-section, and she's all bandaged up, and like, she's still bleeding and stuff. And we had Weston, the oldest one. He was at home. God, thank God every day from my parents and my in-laws. Like, they stepped up.
Yeah.
The hardest part was when they came to the hospital to see how bad it was. It was, oh gosh, that was a tough night.
Well, and like you said, you were probably on the way, like, hey, it was probably just check up, no big deal. They said something about his kidney levels. And then they think, well, we'll just keep an eye on Weston, and that'll be fine. And then it's like, what'd you say, a month in the hospital?
Yeah, we were there a month. I tell you what, though, I was in the elevator with a guy, and he looked like he was just kind of having a hard time. And we got to talking. He said, how long you been in here? I said, I'm getting close to about a month. He said, try 6 months. He'd been there 6 months with his kid. Had tons of issues, but it's just the sights and the stuff you see in Children's. God bless the people that work in there, but the kids that I don't even know, like the kids with cancers, the kids with multiple wounds to their body, they're automatically addicted to heroin or crack or whatever, drug babies, and the process that it takes for them, and just the chemical stuff that does to your brain automatically, right out of the gate, you're already set back. It's tough.
You're already starting a little farther back than everybody else. So I know that's tough, but he's all good now. I mean,
knock on wood, he's great. He gives up for an appointment soon. He's on like every 2-year checkup, which is great. There's I think there's 4 or 5 levels to chronic kidney disease, and he's on the second one. The left one works, but it's not as well as the right one. So The right one's pretty normal. The left one's pretty beat up. Yeah, he's on the second level. So they'll have to monitor him when he's going through puberty. Anytime he grows.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to really watch his kidneys.
If your body's changing, I guess your organs are changing too. They're getting bigger too.
Yeah, and I didn't know that out of when you're born, you're grown. I mean, I learned so much about the kidneys. It's crazy.
And that's wild, because that's what Brett was talking about with his, his daughter, and how much he's learned about.
Yeah, but you're born, like, your kidneys are hyper functioning, meaning like they're performing at 110, 115%. So, and it's weird, God gives you overperforming kidneys just in case.
Yeah.
That does happen. Yeah.
Well, hopefully, like you said, knock on wood, everything goes good with his next, and it's just something he has to monitor for a while.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not something he has to worry about for the rest of his life. But if so, hopefully just keep praying for him and hope that he's all right. But and circling back, is your wife also from Morristown?
Yes, we are high school sweethearts.
That's where I was like, I thought that was the case.
She rocked the cradle. She was the senior, and I was the sophomore starting varsity basketball player.
Yeah.
And it was, in my eyes, in the mode, it was a big deal. But she's put up with me for this long, so she's a saint, man. I don't know what I'd do without her, huh?
Yeah, I think a lot of times we one of my favorite things to do is to give my wife crap and get her stirred up and say stuff that I know that makes her mad, but it's like, I don't know what I would do.
That's the best part, man. You just know them little buttons to push just to get them pissed off.
Yeah. And when you cross the line, you're just like, nah, I didn't mean. I was joking. That excuse only gets you so far. She has enough of me when I do that, so I definitely know that, and so that puts you guys together. I mean, how long have you guys been together?
Oh, gosh.
Sorry, Blake.
Oh,
busted. Cut.
Gosh.
That's one of those cuts.
Crap. Let's see. We were married in 08.
Let's see.
So, oh, gosh.
Been together 22 years?
22 years.
That's what I'll have.
We'll go with that. Thank you.
I was like, I know that I think you were a senior when I was a freshman. So,
okay.
You were at what, 05, right?
05, yep. Yeah. Gosh, that just seems like yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'll be honest with you. I've kind of, with my oldest going into middle school, I'm kind of having a hard time. Not a hard time. Well, I guess I am having a hard time with it. Yeah. Because, I remember when he could fit on my arm. Like, oh my gosh. And now he's in high school, and he's got him a woman, and he, and she's a sweetheart. He's gonna be driving soon, and I'm like, man, I ain't ready for this shit. I don't know. My wife and I were talking about it, and she just pretty much said, suck it up. You'll be all right. It's life, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going through that similar thing, but it's more about my kids just starting school.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how hard that was going to be. Like, and everybody's like, well, once they start school, you might as well, they'll be graduated before you know it.
Now, how old are they again?
I'll have a kindergartner, a first grader, or a kindergartner. We're going backwards. Kindergartner, a preschooler, and then my youngest she's almost 9 months.
Dang. So
it's all, I waited a little longer than others, but we had a lot of fun in the beginning, and some people have kids early and they get to have fun in their 40s.
Hey, that's all right, man. Kids are...
Well, we still have fun. It's just a different time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. The kids are a blessing, man. My mom, I'll bitch and whine about I gotta go to basketball again or whatever, and Mom said don't wish that away, because I give anything to take you to a basketball practice or a basketball game or anything. So don't wish that time away. So
yeah, and
it puts my mom is always good at putting me into perspective. Like, gosh darn it, I don't want to admit it, but you're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah, and it's good to have those people. I had, somebody who I'm going to have on here soon. He told me, was as much as I hated going to all of those volleyball games, I would go to 100 more if I could do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
And because he has a couple girls, and I was just kind of thinking about that, and I'm like, why am I complaining about this?
I'll catch myself wanting to complain. I'm like, dude, this isn't going to last forever. And my buddy I coach with, Josh Allen, I'm kind of living. He's kind of my brother too. They're kind of helping me through the process of basketball and stuff, and they're just telling me, they keep telling me it's gonna fly. It's gonna fly. It's already they're already I've watched them forever, but they're already juniors in high school, like Jack and JC on, and it's just don't wish it away.
Don't wish any of that away, and
Quit
definitely
ditching.
cherish the moments now, because one day they will be gone.
And then we'll be gone. Then you'll just be mom, pa.
Yeah.
And
Then you'll find out. Then you'll find out if your wife really likes you. So
oh, just a gimmick.
when she's got nobody else to hang out with, you have to find a hobby or something.
Oh, I got plenty of hobbies, man. You know that. Oh shit.
I get myself in trouble with my hobbies, like adding podcasting. So
I like this though. I think it's a great idea. I think they've been good. I think they've been real good.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I know I try to. It's weird because I don't take like recognition well, and people are like, "Thanks for," and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, appreciate that. It's not that good. It's terrible."
Yeah. Yeah,
but
like I told you before, we started. My son, my 14-year-old son, knew what Garage Dad was. And I thought, okay, all right,
that's awesome.
And he saw it on TikTok. So
we're gonna have him
kudos to you, man.
Promoting out there for you. You're gonna be rolling into high school. It's just telling everybody. So. Well, that's awesome. I know that you said that you were coaching. What all have you coached with your kids?
Gosh, soccer, which was an experience, and that was little. They were little.
Yeah.
T-ball, baseball, but majority basketball. We live and breathe basketball. That's kind of our thing, And I've been coaching since I was 19. Basketball.
Yeah.
Since I got out of high school, Coach Hines called me and he's wanting to know if I'd coach junior high, and I've been hooked ever since. It's starting to. The end is near for me, but it's been. I've learned a lot, man. It's definitely you definitely have to have thick skin to do it. It taught me how.
Oh yeah.
It taught me how to have thick skin. Taught me a lot of. There's a lot of good. 9.9% of the kids that are playing for you are not going to go and play in college or somewhere, but I still got kids coming up to me, hey coach, or man, I was just telling you about the story, just the stories, and I just been thankful I've got to experience that through my oldest son, and but the time has come this year, and I tell my wife every year I'm not coaching him because I've kind of found, and I was talking to Timmy Davis about it one time, you gotta separate yourself at some time. Someone else has got coaching, because, you have that chance of ruining your relationship when basketball becomes more than what it really is. I'm at that time, I'm at that place, and he's got a good coach, just like Josh Allen is phenomenal. Chris Faber, Dustin Willie's been helping him. So he's got a good staff, and just coaching AAU too. But it's time to let him go and see what he's got. I could do stuff behind the scenes, but now it's time to maybe let's go fishing. Maybe let's go hunt. Let's go hunt some deer, and that to me has been really fun. Just experiencing a little more, because basketball's been a big part of our life for so long.
Yeah.
Let's discover this other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't get him to read a damn book or a comic book or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's something else that Paul likes to do, but he definitely likes to fish and do the other stuff.
Just put it on his phone, he'll read it.
Yeah.
If he's like any other middle school, high school kid, put it on the phone, they'll read it. It doesn't matter what it says.
Yeah.
Just kind of that kind of be my next thought, like about how hard it is to separate dad and coach.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
Have you had any like specific things where it's been like that was hard to separate, or when maybe you've crossed the line or he crossed the line?
I've crossed the line several times. It's tough. It is tough. But here lately, I've been trying to just be hands off, trying to be more positive, trying to be dad instead of coach all the time. It's hard. It is so hard. And that line it's so thin. It's so thin. It could just be, it could be things that we've worked on. Like, we're real big into shooting and shooting form and stuff. Have been for years. And, when I see him not holding his follow through, or making sure his feet right or stuff before, go ape shit. But now it's like, man, just leave him alone. Let him get his shots in and let him get his work in. As long as they're going in, Yeah,
it doesn't matter how. That's the way I've always tried to be about coaching. It works. So.
Yeah, and honestly, it's been better. It's been better for him. But what I love about Weston is he never, I don't think he's ever complained at all. He would even defend me for my wife, like in front of my wife. My wife would be, are you embarrassed he did this? And Weston would be like, no, I'm not. Like, you know, he understands where I'm coming from. But yeah, there's definitely been times where
that's
I've crossed
mature.
the line.
That's mature that he was able to do that, but it's also like tough to find that.
It is, and at the end of the day, you know, you just gotta be dad. You gotta be dad. And you just gotta.
Yeah, and I think that's something I'm kind of in that dilemma right now, because I've not all the way since I've graduated high school, but several years that since I've been out of high school, I've coached something.
Yeah.
And now, you know, coaching 2 varsity sports, it's like I have coached everybody else.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm gonna have to let go of something and coach my kids.
Exactly.
And that's gonna be tough. One, because I don't know anything about soccer. And that's pretty much the one. So,
and that's okay. That's all right. That's why I kind of like when the boys were playing soccer. I loved it because I didn't know a damn thing about soccer.
Yeah.
It was kind of great. You know, just kick the ball, you know, buddy, and good job. But I know so much about basketball, you know, because I've been around it forever. It makes it tough. Honestly, you just got to remind yourself, shut the hell up. Just shut up. You make it worse.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that with if I coach soccer, I mean, I know about baseball. Not enough to, I know enough to coach Little League. I don't know enough to like say that I'm like an expert coach.
Yeah.
And I hope that it transfers to softball if they either one of them choose to do softball or any of the 3.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't say either. I got 3 kids now. Remind myself of that. Basketball I know 0 about, so that's the one. And I don't want to coach winter sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've always thought. Where I'm just like, maybe I could just be the coach who's just the moral sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy out there who's cheering everybody on, and I'm not teaching I've always said I'm not going to teach kids at that level because the technique of things is so important. If I don't know it, I shouldn't be teaching it.
Yeah.
At some point, there is a coach who's coached everything off of YouTube, and God bless YouTube, it's helped me out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But
too. Yeah.
It's
and Instagram's got tons of stuff.
I don't want to be the coach that's like, well, I know what I'm doing because I watch.
Oh yeah.
I have your child's future in my hands. Like I'm teaching them. I'm building those foundations.
Yeah, it's I don't know, but I've been blessed to be able to just do it. You know? And he is like, you know, he's good. He puts the time in. He really does. He puts the time in every day, and that's something, you know. Again, I've learned off other people. Like if you want to do it, you got to do it every day, at least 6 times a week, at least. And he's been doing it.
Those words left Timmy Davis's mouth, and you were like, "Yep,
it's the truth." You know, all them guys that, you know, and I'm not saying he's playing in the NBA. I'm not saying that at all. And you know, whatever. But they give it everything they got. Everything they got. They got to sacrifice so much. They get up at 6 a.m. practicing, going to school.
Yeah, you got to be to do that. You have to be one of the best players in the world and put in the work.
Oh yeah. Like, you got the 2. Oh man, yeah. You're gonna be. So dynamite.
it's like you can't control one of them. So take advantage of the one that you can control.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Then the other thing that's kind of, which I would say just based off of, I mean, I don't know as much about the other 2 boys athletically, but just knowing you and keeping up with Weston and hearing stories about Hillsborough, it's like, I would say you never had to worry about him being good enough to play.
Yeah.
That's another one that's kind of worries me. It's like, what if, you know, my kid's not good enough to play and I have to bench him. I still have to go home to their mom. Yeah,
my youngest one, actually, he just kind of fell in love with the game last year. He's been more into dinosaurs and he loved spooky stuff there for a while. He wanted to write books, all that stuff. And
his dad is an author. So.
And I told Lauren I don't want to push it on him like I did Weston, because Weston didn't have a choice. But Paxton, I wanted to be a more genuine type of, you know, let him, and God love him. We started this 2nd grade, like little AAU team, and he loves it. He's slower than molasses, I'll tell you that, but he gives it everything he's got. He's been out there every day on the basketball court that we have, that little half court we have at the house, and just shooting his life away, man. He loves it. And I'm trying to do it a little bit different than I did with Weston.
Yeah, and I think you learn, you know, I haven't got to coach my kids in anything yet, and like I said, it's coming to that point where they want.
Yeah.
They also think that I'm going to continue coaching track, and I'll coach them in high school, and I'm like, I can't do both forever. So
it's so hard. It's so time consuming, you know.
Yeah.
coaching anything.
It's tough, and you get really attached to things like where those kids literally become like your kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're with them more than your own kids. Half the time.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. When I coached early on, when all the boys were little, I was with somebody else's kids more than my own.
Yeah, and that's where I try to bring.
Yeah.
Like I'll bring my kids to track practice, which this year I felt like every day it rained, but they love coming, and they love doing that. Golf practice, they love riding around the golf cart, and we'll whip out. They got a little set of golf clubs, and now it's getting to the point where it's the two of them will start fighting if we're on the golf course. So I just try to one at a time.
Yeah,
and takes a lot more patience with a little kid playing golf, but it's fun to see them excited about what I'm coaching, and hopefully they will. If they don't, I've always said I'm never going to be one that forces it on my kids.
For sure, because that leads to burnout. I mean, I've seen so many kids just, I'm done, and then and then that's hard. That's a hard thing to deal with as a kid and as a father who's pushed it on. You know what I mean? Like it's tough.
And I think that we forget that how important it is for kids to still be kids.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where I think genuinely there needs to be at least a month of every kid's year growing up where they just do like
nothing.
Yeah. They just be kids. There's no basketball, there's no baseball, there's no and that's a lot easier said than done.
It is.
And just allowing for them to be kids, because they definitely can get burnt out on it, even though they love it. They can burn themselves out because they love it so much. And then it's like, what'd you say? Paxton's in second grade?
Yeah.
It's like you do that for 6 years, and you're getting ready to go to high school. You didn't realize that you're tired of basketball. So it's definitely important to make sure they're still kids. And
oh, for sure, man. Yeah, that's why I love the whole superhero thing. We get to enjoy those. Like there's a bunch of movies coming up in July. We've already got that. My oldest one, he acts like he don't like them, but he's still he's not cool enough for him yet.
Yeah, he's not gonna wear the costume.
Yeah, we used to wear the costume.
But
we used to go.
He's going to show up.
He's going to show up.
Yeah, he's going to show up and act like he doesn't care. And that's fine. Yeah. We've all went through that phase, and in your case, you're gonna go through cool boys for 3 years straight. And I'll deal with girls. That'll be we'll have different types of stress.
For sure.
We'll have different types of stressors.
Yeah.
And I know that you said Wesson is more artsy. Has he? I mean, I'm sure that you made him, I won't say made him, but I'm sure he wanted to try basketball knowing how much you...
He never did. He never wanted to try. Grayson never wanted to try.
Or no, I said Weston.
Oh, that's all
Grayson.
Right. That's all right. No, Grayson, he's got a mind of his own. If he don't want to do it, he's not going to do it. He's just...
Stubborn.
He's stubborn.
Child.
God, he's stubborn as all get out. But yeah, if he's not going, he don't want to do it, he's not going to do it. Yeah. He's just not going to do it. And there was a time where I got the ball out. Hey, come on, shoot up with me. And it lasted about 5 minutes. Again, I didn't want to force him. If he don't love it.
Yeah.
If like Paxton now, he loves it. He loves it. So now we can, build off of that. But if you don't love it, I'd be like me. Mom getting me out and playing soccer or something like that. Like, I'm not gonna love. I didn't love that as a kid. That wasn't my thing. But yeah, he just never got into it.
He's got his own thing, and it sounds like the other two will always have. They'll always have the shooting outside with Dad on the court. More of the art stuff with Mom.
Yeah. It's kind of funny now. My nephew was over, and my brother was with him, and we challenged our boys 2-on-2. And we used to daddy ball them. We used to man ball them. Just get down the post, beat the hell out of them. But not this time, man. They just ran us to death. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack, man. It was. My wife took a picture. She got the perfect picture where we're both kind of like huffing and puffing, man. It was, oh gosh. Yeah. It was, it was like, kind of a full circle.
Like, I know you're a photographer, but you don't have to capture every moment.
She got it, man. It was definitely full circle.
That's when they earned the rite of passage.
Yeah, they did.
They had to beat you that way.
They finally surpassed, Yoda and Obi-Wan, man.
Yeah. They had to beat you on the court or beat you up. And with you and Jordy, I wouldn't want to. That's a bad move. But yeah, that's awesome that you guys have that. But yeah, those boys are definitely definitely get better. I mean, they look a lot better in some black and yellow down Mustangs.
Man, oh God. Like I said, my wife would literally divorce me.
Yeah,
getting them in red and white was, it was tough.
That was tough enough.
It was tough.
No more switches.
But Hillsborough just accepted them as their own. Like, it was just so genuine. It was, there's nothing wrong. No disrespect to anybody, but we just felt like that was the right move at the time. And,
yeah.
And it was, honestly, it's probably one of the best moves.
Yeah.
But as a parent, you second guess it, like,
yeah,
crazy.
And especially with you guys both coming from White Oak and being smaller, and it's like, well, we don't want to take them up there to Hillsborough. It's a lot bigger, and they got a lot of other.
Man, like, the size of Hillsborough is, like, as a teacher, teaching at Hillsborough, it took me a while, at least a month or so to adjust to the just the size of it. I mean, heck, there's 9-10 classes per grade.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And they think it's a big deal because they get to come in, with mom or dad. You know what I mean? And that's a pretty big deal.
If we both stay in our positions, the girls will ride with us from preschool to 8th grade, and when they get to high school, they can go in with mom because it's just a walk across the parking lot. Middle school.
That's awesome, man.
I have my own domain, so
yeah, Lynchburg's a great school, man.
Yeah.
Lynchburg is a fantastic school.
It would be fantastic to have you there, Blake. Sounds like it's not going to happen.
No, I think I'm set. For a while. Like I said, the boys love it. They absolutely love it. They didn't complain one time, and that was our biggest fear. So big, there's so many kids, and it's so much more dynamic.
Yeah, and the exposure to things you kind of worry about. It's like, I mean, they're going to see they're going to hear a lot of other things, and it's which happens in small schools too, but statistically, it's happening a lot more big schools.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more stories happening at home.
Oh, yeah. But, it's been good. It's been a good move.
Good deal. So, I know that you have said that you and your wife have been together for a long time, and you have a very busy schedule with coaching basketball and, going to other things, and, she does her photography, and what's her photography name?
It's just it's Lauren Kibler Photography.
All right. If you need any pictures taken, call Lauren Kibler Photography or follow them on Facebook. What do you guys like to do as your free time?
Free time's typically me reading comic books. Then my wife's watching real crime on Netflix or something. The boys are usually watching reruns of WrestleMania or anything WWE. It's usually on his phone or whatever. But like if we wanted to get together and do something, we're just pretty simple. I like to go out and eat. Once a year we'll go on a vacation here and there. It's not real elaborate, but we try to keep the boys, try to expose them to as much as we can. And we love, like I said before, especially in July, there's going to be Jurassic World's coming out, and Superman, and Fantastic Four. We'll definitely make time to watch those when they come out. Movies are kind of sacred. They've been sacred to Lauren and I. We've been watching movies together for a long time.
Yeah,
that's just something we'd love to do. And when Star Cinemas
R.I.P.
Man, geez,
R.I.p. That better be a good oldies.
It better be, because we had a lot of...
That's our childhood that got ripped down.
Yeah, for sure. We watched a lot of movies at that place. But, now we're watching them at the Milford Cinemark, and it's very nice. Just stuff like that.
Yeah, that's I think that's something that gets overcasted a lot, of like how important that time is.
It's so important. Like, I need my downtime, and Lauren, it took a little bit of time for Lauren and I to understand each other when it came to that. Like, I don't, I want to read. I want to, maybe I'll get on YouTube and watch some guy open up packs of cards or something silly like that. Just diving into stuff on YouTube, but just a little bit of downtime will go a long way.
And is that what the next part is? What is your downtime, or what is your dad time?
It's definitely and again, here comes my hobbies. I was a big book reader.
Yeah. But
to me, the reading became stale. It just became the same old thing. So, I've been very big into superheroes for a long time. So I got back into comic books, and man, oh man, like that's something I really, really enjoy. I'll probably get at least 10 a month of some of the new stuff. Some of that stuff is just, it's so neat, and some of that stuff's gold. some of them first appearances of guys and stuff, or it's like The Punisher. I think that book's selling for like $1,500 or something like that. But there's comic books for sure, and then of course YouTube. Like right now we're kind of getting into hunting, so I've been watching some YouTubers hunt. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that being the same way about how important the time is to have just you and your spouse. Like, we often forget about how important that time is, just to not take away, but kind of go back to just have some just mom and dad time. Or just husband and wife time, and shut off. You never shut off mom and dad, but like, let's put that on and go do something just for us.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same as doing for yourself.
Oh yeah. We're real good at gauging each other. Like, are you okay? Everything good? I don't know if it's because we're just becoming older, I guess.
Yeah.
A little wiser. Not as, I don't know. We take each other serious, but I don't know. It's just a lot more. We're just pretty easy going with the downtime and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and I think that that can become tough too, especially as busy as I am. The coaching aspect with coaching multiple sports and doing that, and it's like, at the end of the day, it's like you feel like that's work, and but you've been away from your kids and your wife, and it's like that's a hobby.
Oh yeah. And what I found when I coached varsity, I was there. I taught for 8 hours and coached for 3. Like, practice was literally 3 hours, and then you had to deal with the aftermath. Did I make little Johnny upset? Parents calling me, board members calling me, other stuff like that, and it was nonstop. Yeah, like it was nonstop. Here, we're real good at like being there, being present, not in your phone or somewhere else. Just being in the moment, especially because, like you said, we don't get a whole lot of mom and pa
time. Yeah,
it's kind of scarce. But when we do get it, just be in the moment, be in there. Are you good? And just put the cell phone down. Yeah, just a little bit.
That's tough for me, because I'm like, I don't have it out of school as much. I don't have it out when I'm coaching. Don't do it when I'm driving. I don't have a long commute anyways. So it's like, when I'm home, that's the only time I have to have my phone. But I get caught in that trap a lot, where it's just like, I need to set this away. Yeah. As hard as it can be, as attached as we can get to our phones, it's hard to do that.
Well, yeah, for sure. Everything you have is on your phone. Yeah, you can literally access anything.
Yeah, you lose your wallet, like you might lose some cash, but you'll be all right. Everything else you can recover. You lose your phone, eventually you're gonna get it back, but it's like being stuck on. Like, I hate how dependent I am on my phone.
And Lauren and I will ask each other, what did we do before we had phones? I don't even remember.
I don't. I
have no idea.
You literally have to stop and think, like, and I think that's fallen over to kids. Yeah. Where it's just like, now, when you were bored when you were a kid, you didn't whip out your cell phone, or you didn't have an iPad, and you didn't have this and you didn't have that. You were outside shooting basketball, or you were out walking the woods, or you're doing something. Yeah. That's a kind of a big issue, and that's where we try not to let our kids see us with phones, because it almost like it's idolizing phones, because it's like, you always have your phone. Like, my daughter said it to me the other day, "Oh, Daddy, you're always looking at your phone." I'm like, man.
My boys have told me that too.
Yeah, like, and it's
like, gosh darn it.
It's tough, because then it's like, they automatically they think that's what normal is, and so we have to have that reset a lot of times, and it's tough. And then also with the husband and wife time, I cherish that time a lot more, because like right now, not that nobody wants, like with my youngest, she's not even she'll be 9 months or 10 days, but she has more needs, so it's harder to get people to like watch her, because she needs to be breastfed and stuff like that. So it's like, we will do stuff and take her, and she's a great baby. She does great, but then it's like, we don't get a whole lot of just us time. So it's like, anytime we do, like, we're kind of like you guys, keeping it simple, but
we like to keep it simple.
How nice that is, just to like go out to dinner, and it's like, a couple weeks ago we had one, and we went up to the Mexican restaurant in Wilmington, and then just kind of hung out. And I mean, it's a great problem, but the service is so fast. It's like, wow, we're done with food in 24 minutes. Like, we're in and out. Then it was like, well, what are we going to do now? You know, go get ice cream or something. And then it's like, well, now we've only been gone for an hour. And it's, we just literally just drove around for like an hour, and it was nice to have that time of just being like, we didn't have an agenda. I had no idea where I was at. Like, I just kept turning.
That's great.
I kept trying to get lost because I'm like, and we just talked. We just talked. So
that's I cherish that stuff anymore, man. It's just like you said, it's a very fast-paced life we live.
I always think and say when we have those nights that sometimes it feels like you're back in high school because like you're, you know, we all cruised around with a lady, and it's
for sure.
It was a different type of nerves. It was like, I'm thankful for this. In high school, you're thinking something different, but nah, that didn't happen. Now I have 3 daughters. I'm like, that stuff doesn't happen.
You're talking about
but that's awesome, man. That you guys kind of keep it simple and hopefully
And she, you know, she gets me. She knows, and you know, I need my time, or you know, we need to be together, or stuff like that. And it's I don't want to say comfortable. It's just easy. Like, it's just so easy. You know, it didn't start like that.
No,
never does. Never does. It took some time, and you know, not knockdown drag-outs, but you know, we had our moments. But, you know, we get each other so easy. It's just nice. It's really nice.
Tough, or it's easy to get away from that and forget about that.
For sure.
And it'll put you in a funk.
Oh yeah.
And you don't realize how important it is. Thanks for listening to part 1 of Blake's story on Garage Dad's podcast. Tune in next week to catch part 2.